Yo, I was of the opinion initially that regardless of what they release of the Epstein file, it'd be fruitless. Because up until now, they've completely fumbled the goddamn file. Like, firstly, it was a complete fucking fumble because Trump ran like, his entire campaign off releasing it. And I guess, to be fair, he's keeping with the promise. But then they started memeing about it, and it's like, I mean, I get what's happening. I get the funny, funny, ha ha. But this isn't a joking situation. Like, this is probably one of the biggest trafficking situations amongst American elites, like, we've ever had. Like, God knows how many more of these are happening. But not only that, a lot of conspiracy theories that people had of these situations are just being confirmed. Like the whole Pizzagate situation. Like, it turns out that was actually true, and you could tell because, again, I looked I watched someone look over the logs because I hate reading, and I'm part of, like, I looked over some of them, and one of them was about the whole Pizzagate thing. I'm like, what the fuck? Another one was about apparently Jeffrey being into, like, Yuri porn and, like, food at Five Nights at Freddy's. And I'm like, okay, fucking weird. Not surprised, but sure. Apparently, he also called someone the N word on Xbox Live and played fucking World of Warcraft. Okay, all these are just sort of secondary to the actual thing. But it's interesting to know the life this individual lived up until the point where he did not kill himself and all the things that are coming out. Because I believe, like, this isn't even scratching the surface. Like, these are just all the things that we have documented and that we've known about this situation. Like, God knows all the things. Like, we don't even know what we don't know. Because some things were probably destroyed. Some document, like, the first time it was so heavily redacted that at that point it was like, why the fuck even release? Like, entire paragraphs were redacted. And it's like, why even fucking release it at this point? And another reason why I think it's a monumental fumble because regardless of the political scale you sit on, if you're a Democrat and none like the Republican candidates you want are on there, you're gonna say it's fake. And if you're a Republican and if none of the Democrat candidates are say on there, you're gonna say it's fake. To be fair, a lot of people are on here that don't really surprise anyone, but we're also in that age where any name that are in the file people are going to associate with being a pedophile, even if nothing happens. Because, again, that's just the moral panic. That's how people think nowadays. You know, when I grew up, people were innocent till proven guilty. But on the internet, that's not how people act. Like, if you're even slightly associated with this guy, people will just come to that conclusion. Like, right here, like, you have Trump and Epstein. People are coming to the conclusion that Trump is a pedophile. And it's like, okay, so why, if you have, if you were part of this, why release the files? Why not run an investigation and then be like, oh, well, we found nothing on the investigation, or oh, well, the files, they've been deleted, or fucking whatever. It's just something that doesn't make sense. even if you think about it for a little bit, it's like if you're part of it, why release it? Like if you were it doing the nefarious deeds that apparently a lot of people were doing with this man on this fucking island, why ever would you ever release it? And I do believe this guy probably had connections with other foreign powers, other foreign leaders, because it's like the Diddy situation. If you are as prominent as Jeffrey before the whole weird shit came out, obviously, like moths to a flame, they'll flock to you. Like, you don't even really gotta do anything, right? They'll just come to you. They'll get whatever connections you have. Like, this is how building generational wealth and having connections work. And I'm a person that's absolutely terrible at networking, right? And I'm telling you how to fucking network. Unfortunately, even if you're associated with this guy, and people are just assume you're a child molester, I think sucks. You know, life, and this is the opinion I've held, like, yeah, people are going to come to the conclusion, don't care, release it anyway. You know, it sucks, right? It's unfair. But this is a win that the people want. People are so sick and fucking tired of prominent individuals avoiding the legal system and other prominent individuals avoiding the legal system. And though I believe nothing will come out of this, I think it's just another thing to keep into the conscious mindset of the American people, regardless of where you sit on the spectrum. Just know that, yeah, a lot of the people that you know and you will follow, they probably are pretty fucking weird. And I've always known this. I'm like, yeah, people that reach a certain level of wealth, a certain level of prestige, like at one point you're like, well, I need more. Like, I've reached this zenith of success and I want more. See, the average person can't think like this because you're in the fucking rat race. Like you're just trying to rush to fucking retirement and then live out the rest of your days until you die horribly, like a fucking, like, looks stupid in that casket. But it was someone like Epstein who've reached a level of prominence at such an early age. I can't honestly say I'm surprised that this happened. Like, it's difficult because people fail to try to understand the mindset of someone who, if you have enough money, you can just buy a restaurant or buy an island on the planet or literally pay people to, to work for you. Like, you have a completely different mindset than just the average person, because it's like back then in the medieval age, the mindset was fucking survival. Like, you worked from dawn till dusk just to scrape by with a service. But nowadays people don't think that way either, because we have such better amenities than they had in the past. Now you work a 9 to 5 and you make a livable wage. You go home to your spouse and wife and you chill. 300 years ago, that was something that's like, what do you mean you only work part of the fucking day? I have to work the entire fucking day just to barely scrape by in this shit fucking hut. Or if I'm a peasant for a lord, I have to work all fucking day just for the privilege of living on the Lord's land with my family. Some of them may even die of a fucking disease. God knows what disease. I don't fucking know. But nowadays, the average individual don't live like that. At least in America, in first world nations. So the mindset has changed. Now imagine the mindset change of someone who, again, has more wealth than most first world nations on the fucking planet and has literally everyone in his pocket, like Donald Trump and like Bill Gates and all of that. Like, you have a completely different outlook on life. And apparently, for Jeffrey Epstein, he fell to the dark side, right? He fell to the dark side of wanting more, and that came to his detriment and the detriment of the people around him. And a lot of things that came from this file. Again, I don't know who's running the whole conspiracy theory factory, but they better be working them into overtime, because all those conspiracy theories, all those things that 10 years ago people would say, and you'd question the logic and question their entire worldview because it was just so completely out there, like fucking satanic baby sacrifice rituals. So fucking out there. And then now this new shit came out, and you're realizing, okay, there might be some credence to it. Not that it's 100% true, right? But it's like, okay, that fucking tweaker at that 7-Eleven may have been on to something. Like, maybe he's breached his mind into a level of knowledge that far exceeds mine when he was on that Fent overdose. Like, maybe the Anunnaki fucking beamed fucking some transmission into his mind of what's happening. Because it all just seems prophetic now. And to be fair, a lot of the things that came out, predominantly hearsay, no substantiated evidence. But it draws a picture, right? It draws a clear picture of the possibility. Like, there's a lot of things we just all automatically know, but it's still surprising that the information is now being released to the general public. And you look back over it and you're like, okay, well, I knew this, but I'm still fucking surprised that this is happening. Because at least back then, there's a level of, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a very big shadow of doubt and everything. It was more like, okay, if this did happen, I can kind of believe it, but I don't know. You know, I don't have proof, so let's see what happens. And then a lot more of this shit comes out, and you're like, okay. Well, if true, very surprising. So, yeah, I don't want to tarry on the fucking look at this goofball. When was he arrested? It was like, what? 2-ish, 3-ish years ago? That he totally did not kill himself. It's very surprising that we're just, and again, there's a reason why people are harping on this, because people want that win. People want, you know, someone to fucking get sacrificed on the altar. So it's not like, okay, so every single fucking high-ranking political pundit with connections just skate free and nothing happens. Like, you know, if that keeps happening, you know, maybe another Luigi will happen. Maybe that one fucking guy will snap and decide, you know what? Maybe I have a problem with this and I'm willing to go out just to make some sort of change. You know, things can only boil over to a point that enough's enough. But anyway, that's just my opinion about this whole thing. Just me talking off the cuff because I'm keeping my finger on the pulse of this shit. But anyway, that's all I gotta say about this. Peace.